Hey everyone, Greg Lawless from MLSsoccer.com. You know, all week the U.S. Soccer Federation has been celebrating its Centennial. Today, Friday, April 5th, is the actual 100th anniversary of the Federation. And there were a bunch of events that the Federation put on in and around New York City, including a roundtable with the media with head coach Jurgen Klinsmann and USSF President Sunil Gulati. MLSsoccer.com was there with an exclusive look at some of the comments from these two very important people in the U.S. soccer scene.
No, I mean, the approach is a bit similar to any coaching job out there. If it's a club team, and if it's in Europe, or if it's here, if it's a national team overseas, because they're all different individuals. So you learn about them, and obviously you put them all in the team context and say, okay, how does it fit in the whole puzzle that we're working on? But that's the fascinating part of coaching that team is to deal with different characters, different egos, different issues that they bring along. But at the end of the day, you're there to help them. You're there to tell them honestly what you think about them and how you want to see them develop. And I think that goes in a very positive trend over the last 20 months. What I see. But eventually, not everybody will be always on the same page with you. Down the road, we're going to lose a couple of guys. I hope so. I mean, in terms of, we try to kind of find all the talents out there, no matter what background they have, and if we find more Latino-related kids that can add really some special quality to our programs, no matter what age group, we'll go after them. We'll try to convince them to play for us. I mean, many Mexican-American dual citizenship issues are on the plate. I think we are extremely happy over the last just 1.5 years. What happened there. And those guys, we found a kid, Joe Corona, just breaking through in Tijuana. We see the other ones going through TAP's team right now. I mean, Martin has been down there in Puebla for those games, because we want to have a close eye on them. And actually, we're already in touch with them. We're in touch with their coaches as well. So no matter where they are, what background they have, we want to make sure that if they are 1,000% committed to the U.S., that they're going to end up also playing for us. And it's just, I think we send out there some signals to a lot of people saying that, we are open, we're following them, and we, at the end of the day, judge them by performance, by qualities. That's the judgment, no matter what background they have. And they know that. But I think it's an interesting trend to see that we find a lot more of them.
Out of the 14 guys that were on the field in Mexico, 5 play in MLS, all 14 have played in MLS. So and we actually talked about this a little bit with some center backs, situation that was problematic going in. So think about a couple center backs that have been in the squad in the last year or two. Michael Parkhurst, Tim Ream, to give you 2 examples. Neither one's playing right now. On the other side, Matt Beasler and Omar Gonzalez are playing week in and week out, and are the 2 starting backs against Mexico. If you're sitting on the bench somewhere in the 2nd division, or even in the 1st division, not playing, as he's just shown, you're not getting picked for the national team. Pretty easy. So Eddie Johnson saved his national team career by playing in MLS.
You have to have both in mind. Obviously, you want to see the next generation breaking through. You want to give them the opportunities to jump in the cold water and swim, and because only in those moments you really can see, if they're up to the task or not. At the same time, what you have with very experienced players like Carlos or Clarence Goodson and guys that are with the program for a long time. So you want to show them also the respect that they deserve, and you want to just tell them honestly that you want to see competition going on there. You want people compete for the spots, and you want to see then at the end of the day who's ready then for a huge World Cup, and gets us as far as possible beyond the group stage, doing well. And I never complained about any of our games, the last 20 months, and we were hit by injuries, we were hit by cancellations, we were, even when we played Italy last year in February, I think we had about 12 or 13 players dropping out. We try to get players still in on Monday from the US, One player didn't even have his passport ready for coming in. We don't mention the names, you know. But we went through some interesting times there, and still we played the game. You know, we stood up for ourselves, and they did well, and we won surprisingly in Genoa. And those moments, they show you a lot about players, you know, and they need to have that chance, you know, to get that opportunity, you know. I mean, Clarence's injury suddenly gives a big moment for Matt Beasler. And I was very calm. Those moments are huge because suddenly, you know, they have to show their qualities, which they did, and now suddenly we have more cards on the table to play, and now, you know, every game of them is observed. You watch Kansas City play the same way that we watch Everton or AS Roma play.
So the Gold Cup rosters will be a little bit bigger than they have been in the past, actually to accommodate the possibility of, you know, taking into account the Confederations Cup and the fact that World Cup qualifying exists. So that's one. Two is obviously with potentially 11 games in 55 days, it's too much. So we're still talking about which guys might be able to do double duty, guys that are not playing regularly maybe in the qualifying and so on, or some guys that aren't fit for the qualifying and so on. So you're going to see some guys from that World Cup roster, at the same time as Jurgen mentioned, guys that play in qualifying can't then be expected to go all the way through the Gold Cup and then go the next day back to their MLS team or a European team.
No, it's impossible.
They get no break.
Especially European players, it's impossible
No
because
break
they
at all.
need a break. The main weakness. Well, I leave that up to you, really. If you want to judge that, you know, I think on many levels we still have to obviously improve. Otherwise, we would be in the top 5 of the world. So it is just a work in progress on many fronts. You know, I think I would be wrong now to pick up one area of weakness that you kind of point out to. We have still a lot to improve.